Hi guys, I'm Shmi and it seems yet again I'm kicking off a vlog in an underground car park. Today I'm departing Berlin to drive all the way back to London. Basically the end of the X6 tour. So today I'm expecting around 12 to 13 hours in the car. I'm in Berlin, so from here to Calais to catch the Eurotunnel is around 8.5 if it's a clean drive, according to Google Maps that is. I don't think you can ever do a journey of that sort of length without traffic along the way though, so I'm not expecting to have the perfect journey. So I've got about 2 hours extra time before I need to make my check-in at the Eurotunnel. But this is going to be my home for the whole of today. Then it's the Eurotunnel, and then it's the last 2 hours back into London. Picked up some mud the other day when we were at Spa, kind of found some dirty roads, and yeah, it's an X6 after all. But yeah, I'm going to be in here for a long time today. So all my bags are loaded up in the car. I'm pretty sure if you're watching this video, as I go through, I'm probably going to start looking more and more tired. I've got a couple of Red Bulls lined up for the drive. But this is going to be a seriously intense effort. I've got a good playlist, about 200 songs that's been made for me, ready to listen to all the way back today. And the seats are pretty comfortable, so hopefully I'm not going to be too worn out by the time I get home, because tomorrow I'm going to go to Salon Prive, an event that takes place in Oxfordshire in England. So I'm looking forward to that, but it's a long way to go to get there first. So I'm going to hit the roads, get on the Autobahns. Hopefully I can get some speed and get some good progress. Obviously the car's going to need at least one fill up today. It's about, I think the total journey is about 1,100 kilometers. Which you could do on a really economical tank, but it's not full at the moment, so I'm going to have to stop for that. But it's basically just going to be all the way through the final leg of the X6 tour, driving in the X6 back to London. The funny thing when you've been lurking in a hotel room and then in a garage, I had no idea it was so sunny today. It's a beautiful day, blue skies. I need to get my sunglasses on, but I'm going to have to pull over somewhere and set my navigation system, because at the moment I have no idea which way I'm going. I have a vague guess that I turned left here, but we'll see. I've got my navigation set then, and it's telling me it's 8 hours and 56 minutes to Calais, France, which is of course where the Eurotunnel boards on its way over to Folkestone in the UK. So just shy of 9 hours. I'm going to get there at 19:52, which actually gives me slightly less time for my check-in than I initially anticipated. However, as always with these things, when you set the GPS for something that's far away, when you're driving, you knock minutes off the clock, and then when you park or stop for a fill-up or something, obviously the minutes get added back on. So it's like a little competition to try and beat the clock, and I guess with the Autobahns, fortunately, it's not so illegal to do it. So it's going to be fun to watch and see how many minutes during this journey I managed to knock off versus Waze, which is the navigation system I'm using on my phone. So it's pretty clever with traffic. If there's a major incident on the way, it will take me off the route, and hopefully I won't have to put up with that too badly. So 19:52, the time to beat. I've been on the road for around an hour now, and I have managed to take 6 whole minutes off the arrival time, so we're down to 19:46. I've basically had a couple of bits of roadworks, some traffic, and not very much de-restricted section, although we are now on de-restricted Autobahn, so hopefully I'll be able to shave off even more minutes as the time goes by now. From a fuel point of view, I actually thought the car was lower than it is. I've probably got about 500 kilometers until I need to pull over, which is going to be, what, 3 hours driving maybe? I'll want to stop before that, even to get a sandwich or something for lunch. So, long road starts here, 1 hour down, 11 or 12 to go. Well, in case you're wondering, this is what 250 kilometers per hour looks like. We're on the limiter in the X6, as fast as it can go, limited, like lots of the German cars. It's just amazing that the system works like this, that you can drive this quickly, safely. It's fantastic. I'm not so sure that going that fast is good for my economy, but it's certainly a pretty comfortable car to be cruising at 155 miles per hour. I've gone about another hour and a half since my last timing update, and it actually still says arrival at 19:46 because I stopped for a quick pit stop and have spent a lot of the journey so far in not traffic but just busy roads, so limited to 130 instead of de-restricted. However, we are approaching the first traffic jam of the day, so I said there would be at least one. I'm near Hanover, So 2.5 hours into the drive, 666 kilometers to go to Calais as it happens. And my GPS is taking me off the Autobahn to do a diversion, I guess. So, typical long journey across Europe always ends in a traffic jam somewhere, which is rather frustrating. Let's see what happens. Well, we've got rain and we've got more traffic, which is pretty standard, unfortunately. So 1954 arrival time, but that's going to extend while I'm sitting in this traffic jam, frustratingly. Although, the upshot is that some of the bugs that were on my windscreen, and there were lots of them, are probably going to get cleaned off as soon as I can start moving at some speed if it keeps raining. But this was not what I wanted. I'm now 4 hours or so from Calais, maybe. I've been driving for almost exactly 5 hours. Probably looking a little bit more worn out, but still a long way to go. Stopped to fill up then, and it's pretty windy here. Sorry about that, but I got 650 kilometers or so out of that tank, blasting it on the Autobahn, including the first stretch the other day and then today. The cool thing in Germany is you have the fuel tanks that you can actually leave clicked on to hold it the whole time it's filling up. I'm going to grab myself a sandwich or something from the shop, and then it'll be straight back on the road, so I don't want to waste any time. I had that traffic jam in the clip before, that delayed me about 10 11 minutes, but I've made that up again in the hour or two since then. So we're set still, when I pulled in here, for about 5 minutes ahead of the time it said when I left. Now I'm going to have to make that back, because this is going to be a little bit more than 5 minutes to fill up. The X6 has a pretty big tank, although it's cheap mileage with the price of diesel in Europe, about €40 or so here. So fill this up, get a sandwich, straight back on the road. Entering the Netherlands then, second country of today out of 5. No more Autobahn, sadly, which is a shame. But I suppose it'll be a gentle cruise from here. Navigation says 3.5 more hours to go. Haven't really made or lost any time on that last stretch. Just been pretty standard sailing. Time then for country number 3. This is Belgium. Gosh, 3rd out of 5. Crossed through the Netherlands without much drama at all. Now it's going to be probably a little bit busier, and the road is immediately less nice because that's just Belgium. Exactly the same as when I came the other way on the way out a couple of weeks ago. Still set for the same target time, so fingers crossed, let's keep going. More rain, more traffic jams. I think I kind of predicted this in the last video clip, didn't I? I was saying that as soon as we hit Belgium, it's all going to go completely wrong, and that would be fairly accurate. Sheesh. Oh dear, I wasn't in the mood for this. I was just catching on time as well. We're back to 1 minute behind the time it said I would arrive when I left 6.5 hours ago. I love how accurate Waze is, and actually one of the cool things I can do now that I'm sat here and not doing anything is just report a traffic jam, given that we're not going anywhere in a hurry, and I've come to a stop. It's all got quiet. Stop-start on the engine, of course. I think, in general, for this kind of drive, this car is absolutely brilliant. I mean, I'm going to get nearly 1,000 kilometers out of this tank. The only complaint I have is that the armrest is really solid. Like, my elbow is not feeling comfortable at all, because, well, where it's positioned, you're going to put your arm on it, and the right side is nicely padded. But the left side is a little bit hard. I need to get, like, a cushion or something to rest my arm on. Being really fussy, because it's not every day that you drive this far. But other than that, it's just cruise control, which is on the steering wheel, not a stalk, and off you go. Oh, really? Sorry. I did not want this. I did not want this at all. Well, in good news, I'm into the final hour of the drive. In bad news, the rain is now torrential. I'm going to arrive pretty close to my 7:52 target time, which is kind of crazy given that it was, well, 8 hours ago I set off now. And I'm sorry, probably this is a really long vlog. It's kind of like Homeball when I came home from Gumball last year, except this hasn't really gone wrong yet other than the rain and some traffic. But the next stop is into France, which I believe is about half an hour before I get to Calais. Country number 4 then, we're in France. Well, now we're in France. Oh goodness, only half an hour to go. I am absolutely exhausted, and yeah, don't really know what to say. Goodness me, this has been a long drive. Half an hour to the Eurotunnel, then I'm about half an hour ahead of my train, then it's half an hour on the train, then it's about 2 hours into London, and then it's home. Finally then, arriving at the Eurotunnel. Now, it's 7:48, so I've beaten the GPS time by 4 minutes over a 9-hour journey. It's kind of satisfying, although to be fair to myself, I have kind of stopped for maybe 15 or 20 minutes along the way for a fill up and a couple of quick pit stops. But what a journey. At least it's looking pretty quiet here. Not many people around, so that should mean I can go straight through and get the train and there's nothing to worry about. Just like when I did this 2 weeks ago. So, pull up to the machine. And finally, it's on the right side, which is kind of nice. Identification of booking in progress. Mr. Burton, if you enter the number plate, it recognises your name when you get here. Oh, I could take the earlier one. Let's do it. Let's get to London a little bit quicker, that's always nice. So I'm just in time to get the one half an hour earlier than I would have been on. Doesn't give me time to get food, but I can do that when I get to England. Off we go. Right, straight to customs then, and I'm going to have to get my passport out, which I've currently got just in my bag here. Okay, so there was about a 15-minute queue for UK customs, straight through France, but then a queue for the UK. But I think I'm being ushered very quickly into the back of the train. Like the last car on, there's nobody anywhere, and everything's flashing at me. But fingers crossed I'm going to get on this one, which departs in like 9 minutes. Yeah, looks like we're all good now. There was a long queue, but we're straight on and we're fine and we're going to make this train. Here we are then, back where it started 2 weeks ago on the Eurotunnel. I was just trying to work out how many times I've actually been on these trains. I think I've probably done 50 or so return journeys now in the 10 years or so since I got my driving license. Somebody having a sing-along down there, which is quite funny. But now I've got to do those settings that I changed what seems like forever ago now on the car. So let me just turn the ignition on. Turn the radio off, forget that. Now, this is going to be a test. Can I remember where to go? Because there were two settings I changed. One was the lights, I've got that straight away. Headlights, and I can put them back into UK mode. And the other is the miles per hour and kilometers per hour units. Probably in here somewhere. No, not in there. I've got that wrong. What a start. What a start. Instrument cluster display. No, that's... Well, you're seeing a whole load of the settings and things you can have in here. Oh, no. Speed. Speed. It must be in speed. Nope. How do I put this back into miles per hour? I'm sure somebody out there knows and is probably screaming while I'm playing through these settings. Oh. I was right the first time. I'm an idiot. Actually, I'm not an idiot, I'm just exhausted. And I hope I'm forgiven for that. It's been a very long day. But now the speedo is back in miles per hour. Let's turn the ignition back off. Oh, now I can have a lounge back and a rest. And you know what's quite cool about these seats? I'm going to sit here and lie down because this has been a long drive. And I'm going down, it goes basically flat, which is kind of fun. I've got half an hour to have a sleep. Gosh, sorry, we'll sound like a complete idiot right now. Down we go, 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 there we go. And rest. So yeah, half an hour of sleep. Well, it looks like night has fallen while I've been on the train. Here we are, back in England. Goodness me. Now, what it means being back in England is the motorway speed limit is slower, the roads are rougher, people drive less well, generally the weather is worse, I'm losing my words, the weather is worse. Basically, driving in England is rubbish. And we are done. Well, I'm mostly done. That was a long day. It's been about 12 hours, so it could have been a little bit worse, but 12 hours on the road, and I've probably been out of the car for 20 minutes of that. So a little bit stiff, a little bit sore, but I'm back home. I'm gonna get the car unloaded, get upstairs, get settled down, because tomorrow is immediately straight back into it. It's Salon Prive. I'm going to continue that with a tour because there's some pretty special stuff, including a lot of Paganis. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be joining a Pagani tour with 10 or more Zondas and Huayras, I've been led to believe. So this is going to be a pretty cool way to continue being back home. And then I'll wrap it all up because I need to go over everything and take in everything that's happened on the X6 tour, because it has been truly mental. All the cars I've driven, test driven, been passengers in, the events, all the places we've been to. But this has done a pretty good job. I'm going to go into more of it and talk, sort of do a more detailed review with the X6 now that I've done about 4,000 miles on the car. Well, not all me driving, but most of it. So I've got quite a few things to talk about anyway. You've probably seen a big difference in me going from being really awake and chirpy this morning to being completely shattered and destroyed this evening. So I'm going to end it there. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. Check out the other videos that are coming and the rest of this series. And I'll catch up with you again very soon. Cheers. It is my turn to drive. I'm going to be jumping on board the Delta Red 675L.